Well, please join me in thanking our panelists, Khaldoon, Carol, and Yasser. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, His Excellency Imran Khan, and from Sky News Arabia, our moderator, Ms. Lubna Boza.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to be part of the FII this year. I'm happy to see a full house and so many familiar faces in the audience. So we've got 40 minutes to discuss Pakistani's economy and to discuss the emerging opportunities that might provide. So good morning and thank you for making the time. Your Excellency, you've assumed office as Prime Minister in August 2018 with a mission to achieve Naya Pakistan, new Pakistan. Tell us more about it.
Well, thank you. First of all, let me say what a pleasure it is to be here. Opportunity to talk about Pakistan, investment opportunities. But Naya Pakistan is actually the Pakistan it was meant to be. Pakistan was the only state, well, one of the two states made in the name of an ideology, which was Islam. So when we talk about Naya Pakistan, it is going back to the vision of the founding fathers of Pakistan. And what the founding fathers of Pakistan envisaged was a state based on the principles of the first Islamic state of Medina. And those principles were justice, meritocracy, a welfare state where the state took responsibility for the weaker section of the society, and above all, state to educate its people. So these were the principles which, very lofty principles, why Pakistan came into being. So when we talk about Naya Pakistan, it means going back to the principles of the, what the founding fathers stood for. And hence, the struggle to educate our people, develop our human resources, strengthen our institutions, especially of justice. Sadly for us, some of those principles are more visible in, say, the Scandinavian republics, say in Switzerland, say in New Zealand, than in Pakistan, what was supposed to be an example for what an ideal Muslim state was supposed to be.
You've mentioned so many important points that I'm going to go back to one by one. So working on human capital, fighting corruption, empowering the economy. Walk us through the economic agenda of your government now.
Well, you know, we have been in power for 60 days. We have inherited two big deficits, fiscal deficit, current account deficit. And so the immediate concern for our government is to increase our exports. We need to increase our exports because we have shortage of foreign reserves because of our current account deficit. We need to get more remittances through the banking channels, because there are about 8 to 9 million Pakistanis who work abroad, who are living abroad. So we need to bolster our foreign exchange reserves, immediate improvement in exports, giving incentives to the exporters, getting Pakistanis to send remittances through the banking channels, because then we would have enough dollars. At the same time, clamping down on money laundering. It's a problem in most of the developing world where the money leaves the country through illegal channels. And then create the opportunities for investment. So these are the immediate measures we have been taking in these 2 months. Obviously, to get through this difficult period, we're looking for loans.
And that's actually my next question, because with such an ambitious agenda, you require resources. How does your government plan to overcome the existing financing gap? Are we talking about loans, IMF program? What are the options you have on the table?
Well, whatever reforms we do today, the impact will be in maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year's time. So right now we need to have loans to go through this difficult period of repaying or servicing our debts for our imports. So we are talking to both IMF, and also we are talking to friendly governments that we could go through this difficult period to get loans.
So you might be applying for another IMF program?
Yes, we're talking to the IMF. What we are hoping is that we can do a bit of both, get some loans from friendly governments, at the same time get a loan from the IMF. And so to go through this period, which we feel we have a tough period for the next 3 to 6 months.
I'm going to go back to the point you mentioned in your first answer. So during your victory speech, your main point was fighting corruption in Pakistan and powering the economy. How is your government aiming to ensure transparency so you can revive the investors' confidence in Pakistan and investing in Pakistan?
Firstly, Lubna, you must understand that corruption is what makes a country poor. Corruption is the main difference between the developed world and the developing world. Countries are not poor because they lack resources. For instance, Congo has so many resources. It's one of the most resource-rich area in the world, as opposed to Switzerland, which comparatively hardly has any resources. The difference is that what corruption does is, it does 2 things. One, it destroys state institutions. When the ruling elite is corrupt, it can only make money by destroying all those institutions that are check and balance in the way of corruption. And secondly, corruption diverts money from human development to mega projects which give mega kickbacks, which leave a country indebted. So Switzerland is one of the most prosperous countries in the world because it has very good governance. It has strong state institutions, and it uses the money to develop its human resources. So in Pakistan, the challenge is, how do we strengthen our institutions enough to make it impossible for people to be corrupt, or corruption at a level which is manageable? And secondly, divert the resources to develop our human resources. This is the challenge of Pakistan. So what we've been trying to do since we've been 60 days in power is to strengthen the state institutions, develop meritocracy. The reasons why state institutions get destroyed is because cronies have been put in key positions who then, once there is no meritocracy in a state institution and there's no rule of law, the state institutions do not prevent anyone from stealing money from the country. So this has been the main agenda of our party. And then secondly, to prioritize institutions that will help the exporters. So hence, we have made all the laws at the moment to help